So one day, a couple weeks ago, I was just browsing through Facebook Marketplace listings and came across a collection of junk wax baseball cards. It was for sale, and it had recently been marked down from $100 down to 40, so it caught my attention. And there were a few sets and cards that looked like they hadn't been gone through, hadn't been picked through. It looked like somebody's original childhood collection, perhaps. And these were, cards I used to have and collect back in the day, but I had kind of lost or given away or had been thrown away or something over the years. And so I've always intended to recollect some of the old sets that I used to have or wanted to have when I was younger. And this collection had 88, 89, and 90 top sets, which was kind of my prime collecting era. And then it also listed just what they called bonus cards, which looked like a whole bunch of other junk wax cards from, Score, Upper Deck, Donruss, and who knows. So it was kind of intriguing, and I thought, well, gosh, the 3 sets alone, I might be willing to pay $40 for. This was the listing description. $40 it says for best offer, describes the different complete sets that were there and some of the key rookies and cards. So it made me think that it hadn't been gone through and picked through. And I don't know if any of you have noticed this or not, but the listing definitely seemed to be generated by AI, which is something I've seen a lot of recently. I don't know if these sellers are like taking pictures of their collections and then having AI generate the listing for them and give a price that they recommend or something like that. But for $40, it was something I was interested in checking out. And then I happened to, just out of curiosity, see, I wonder if this seller has any other baseball cards or anything interesting for sale. And lo and behold, they actually had some basketball cards also for sale. And these have been recently marked down from $35 to $20. It included what appeared to be a complete set of 91, 92 Skybox basketball cards, and saw a couple of Jordans in the picture, which again made me think that probably hadn't been picked through, because those are usually the first and maybe about the only valuable cards to take, but they're usually the first cards to go or have been picked out. And then this second photo also showed a small number of Jordans, a few, and some other random basketball cards, Chicago Bulls of the early 90s era. And so again, for $20, I was like, this might be something I'd be interested in, at least flipping through and seeing what there might be. And I'm not really a basketball card collector, but it could be something might be interested in just selling on and maybe making a little profit. Again, here's the description, very clearly AI generated. It surprisingly doesn't really mention Michael Jordan prominently in here. There's one reference to Jordan era Bulls. But maybe it was one of the reasons why this collection hadn't already been snatched up and the price had been dropped. So I messaged the seller, asking about both of his collections he had for sale, and ended up being actually just really close, just a few miles away from me, and said they were still available. And so I set up a time to be able to go take a look at the cards. Got there later that day, and he's a very nice guy. Had all the cards in a large cardboard box, and I had scrounged around the house for cash. I was looking for $60, and I didn't have $60. I had $53 in cash, although I was also willing to pay him in Venmo or PayPal or something. But I asked if he'd take 53, and he said he would. So picked up all the cards. And he asked if I wanted to go through them or anything, and I didn't. I thought, he seemed like a trustworthy guy, and I'd be willing to just take everything for 53 and head home and see what I had. So that's exactly what I did. So I should have taken a photo of the collection when I first got it back to my house. This is just a generic photo of another collection I picked up recently that I'll be doing a different video on. But when I got it back, it was just all the cards in a cardboard box. So the first thing I did was pull out the baseball sets, and the 88 top set was in a binder in plastic sleeves. And it was organized by team. So I pulled all those cards out and I put them in numerical order, and ended up being as the guy said, it was a complete set, not missing any cards. And the 89 and 90 complete sets were in their factory boxes, but also out of order completely. So I made sure the big stars were there and then put them in order, and they were also in fact complete sets. So the next thing I did was go through the loose bonus baseball cards. Again, these aren't photos from this particular collection, but I sorted them by year and brand, and then made two different stacks, one of just the commons and then one of the kind of stars or Hall of Fame players. And there were a handful, or more than a handful, but a decent number of stars and Hall of Fame cards that I pulled out of the collection, and then all the commons went into a separate stack. So this collector must have been a fan of the Chicago Cubs. There were a couple of cards that were actually autographed, one by Andre Dawson. I guess this is in his Expos day, but just before he became a Chicago Cub. And then also Mark Grace, his 89 Topps Rookie Cup card was autographed. I do like Andre Dawson, and since he was a Hall of Fame player, I decided I wanted to keep that auto card, but I ultimately then did not really want the Mark Grace, so I listed it for sale on eBay for $7, ended up getting an offer of $5, which I took. So with the baseball cards largely sorted and gone through, I turned my attention to the basketball cards. And the first thing I did was go through the Skybox set, verify that all the cards were there. I mean, it had like 9 Michael Jordan cards, including the complete set of Barcelona cards, which can actually be kind of valuable for Dream Team cards. So listed this set for sale on eBay, since I'm not a basketball card collector. Listed it for $125, got an offer of $112, I believe, which I accepted within a few days of having listed it. And then turned my attention to some of the other basketball cards. There were actually 2 sets of 92 Skybox Team USA basketball cards. It's a 110 card set. I listed one of the sets, which was complete, for $25, got an offer of $22, which I accepted. There was also a partial set of this same set of cards. I think there were like 67 of the 110 cards, including one Michael Jordan card. I listed those on Facebook Marketplace for, I think, $10, and had a buyer within a couple days. I also sold the remaining bulk basketball cards on Facebook Marketplace, as well as the loose Jordan cards. There were 5 or maybe 6 of those Jordan cards that I valued at roughly $2 a piece. I also sold the bulk baseball cards, which were mostly commons, also on Facebook Marketplace. So I wanted to go over the financials of the whole deal and let you know how I did here on the collection. So first of all, I was $53 in for the cards that I split between the basketball and baseball card listings. And then I also spent $6 for new cardboard boxes, since the 2 of the 3 baseball card sets, one of them didn't have a box and the other box was in really bad shape and yellowed and beat up. On the sale side, I got $5 for the bulk baseball cards that I listed on Facebook Marketplace. Another $5 for selling the Mark Grace autographed card. I got $10 for the 5 or 6 loose Michael Jordan cards, and another $5 for the other bulk basketball. I sold the 91-92 Skybox complete set on eBay. It netted $92 after eBay fees. The first complete set of the Dream Team cards netted $20, and then the partial set I sold for $10 on Facebook Marketplace. So that came out to be a total of $147 in total sales. So then looking at the entire transaction as a whole here, so those net sales were a total profit of $88. I decided to keep the 88, 89, and 90 top sets, which I valued at $10, $10, and $15. I decided also to keep that Andre Dawson autograph card, which I valued also at about $10. And then I just roughly valued the other Hall of Fame and Star baseball cards that I decided to keep for my own collection at just $5. So all in all, coming out with a total profit of $138 on this collection flip, which, really isn't bad for a small junk wax collection. And I really attribute that to a couple of factors. One, the cards had just been reduced in price, which made them more reasonable. The baseball cards being listed for $40 was probably about their value. I may have made a small profit, given that I got a little better deal on the sets. But, it required a little bit of work to put them in order, sort through all the cards. And a lot of collectors aren't willing to do that for junk wax era cards that don't really have a lot of value. And finding the 2 autograph cards in that collection was a pleasant surprise. They were just in with all the rest of the kind of bonus or loose cards. So again, maybe had a little bit of a profit there from that collection, but the majority of the profit came from selling off the basketball cards. A majority of the value in the basketball cards was due to the fact that the Michael Jordan cards that were in it hadn't been picked out yet. And the complete 91 Skybox set typically sells in the neighborhood of about $100 when it includes all of the Jordan cards, and then also, very importantly, the Team USA Barcelona cards, as they're called. Those Barcelona cards can sell just by themselves in the neighborhood of about $50. So there was pretty good value there, as well as in the loose Michael Jordan cards, and then the Skybox Team USA basketball sets. That the complete set had something like 9 Jordan cards in it, and those sell in the neighborhood of $20 to $25. So all in all, a pretty good junk wax collection flip. Got to keep a few sets and a few cards that I wanted, and sold off a bunch of other cards to give me some more cash to buy my next collection. So I'm already working on my next video. It's a much larger junk wax collection I bought and includes some cool stuff. So hope you come back and check out that next video. Thanks again for watching.